Regis, can we start with Dennis Serkin, and what his situation is? You sort of hinted that he may be available for tomorrow night.
Probably not for tomorrow, and we'll see for the next game. He had a surgery, so it depends on the pain, how he feels when he trains, so we have to wait a little bit. Yeah.
But it all went okay. So
yeah, no problem.
After the game as well, you were saying that Hjelder and Rusin were both injured at the weekend. Are they involved tomorrow?
Yeah.
They're okay as well.
Yeah.
Going back to the game at the weekend, that very, very late equaliser, and then the late equaliser from Coventry 2 weeks ago. Is that a slight concern to you in these recent games?
Yes, obviously, because we lost 4 points in the last minutes of the game, but two different scenarios, I think. At Millwall, before the game, maybe we couldn't expect that level of the team because of many changes, and finally we played the first half very well, and probably we deserved to score another goal. And the two 15-minute breaks, I think, allowed to Millwall to refocus on their strength. And when they were back and during the second half, they were good in their style of play, and they played more direct with efficiency, I think. We were good in the first contact, more often good for the second ball, but after it was like a counter-attack game, second ball game and a counter-attack game, and probably we struggled to manage that situation properly. If we have scored at that moment, the game was finished, I think, but we didn't. And the equalizer was like a summary of that statement. We had the situation to score, game is finished, we didn't score, counter-attack, and finally it's an equalizer. So it's a new experience for us, and for the depth of the squad, I think it's very, very positive experience. But for the management of the game, it's still not. But you have to live many different positive and negative experience to learn, and it should be a good one for us.
And talking of experiences, I mean, it was exceptional at the weekend. I don't think any of us have ever experienced a break as long as half an hour with two medical emergencies at the same time.
Yeah.
But that can't have been easy for both you and Neil Harris to manage, because I think the momentum was with you in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely.
You were 1-0 up 5 minutes from half time.
Yeah.
The referee did come across to speak to you both. I mean, what did he say to you at that time?
We didn't have any choices because the rule is the rule. So probably we could add 5 minutes at the end of the second half. It should be better. But probably because of the momentum, this period was much better for them because they had the possibility to refocus on their strength. And we were dominant. And Millwall is a good team at home, really. They beat Burnley, they beat Leeds as well. So we dominated the first half. With only one goal, the game is still balanced, and it was a good opportunity for them, I think. For us, we were ready to manage this direct play, and I think we were good. But I repeat, but this is really a particular situation, and when we are young, as we are as a team, we have the positive part of a young team, energetic, the willingness to attack, fast attack, and so on. But when we have to manage this particular scenario, probably with experience, fast attack are not always useful, and probably we cleared many balls without too big pressure. And we lost probably 10 or 15 balls during the second half that we could manage properly, probably. Yeah.
You mentioned it being a different scenario to Coventry a fortnight ago, which it was. The game that it reminded me of was Plymouth, where the atmosphere was very, very intense in the second half. And it was similar at Millwall on Saturday, that very intense crowd, and Plymouth Millwall threw everything at you in those final minutes?
I had a different feeling after Plymouth because during the first half, I think we were too much confident and we were very dominant. And it was a different feeling because I think against Millwall we pushed as we can, 100%. Against Plymouth we were comfortable and we kept the ball with the feeling of we dominated the game without the willingness to kill the game if possible. So it was different. And two different experiences, two different outcomes because against Millwall we won 1 point. And it's not a bad point, to be fair.
A very good point in this week with these 3 games. You must be very gratified. I know you touched it up after the game on Saturday. The players you brought in, you said confidently last week they would fit in seamlessly. Does it give you a lot of confidence now going into these next 2 games that you've got players that you can completely trust? Tommy Watson, Aji, we know what Aji can bring to the game. You could throw them in, even Alexic, half hour he had. You look, there's a player there. And
Eliza played as a right winger, and I spoke with him this morning. And I said I didn't expect anything because I didn't know what you could do on that position, and you did very well. Aaron plays as a 10, so we had many changes in the team. And during the first half, they played as an experienced team, and with a good balance. Obviously, we should have scored a second goal, but it was really a good game and good performance. So it's good for the depth of the squad. And we know that we need a strong core, and it's not only 11 players. We need probably 16, 17 players able to play, and then important subs as well, because it's still useful with 17, 19, and so on. Players available and ready to play with the team. So it's a good experience. Obviously, a long league like that, we have this period, every team has this period, and it's 4 draws in a row. We could have win 2 more games, but at the end, for the process, I think we are in the right direction. Yeah.
And with Wilson up front and Aaron just behind him, do you think you found that that's their best 2 positions? It also begs the question, now you've got Joe to come back and Connolly playing in that position further forward, Riggers being playing, it's leaving you questions, isn't it?
Good questions. And because of the long sequences of games, it's a good question. If we can have versatile player, many options available, you can look at your bench and say, oh, I'm comfortable to use that option because we used it before and it was good. It's good for the coach, and I think now the players are comfortable with that ideas as well, because they know if we want to achieve our goal to be in that top 6 at the end of the season, we need to be a strong team, but not only 11, 16, 17. So we need competition in every position. We need versatility. We need different options, and the choice of the coach is and the staff is to select the right starting 11 to start the game against West Brom, against Millwall, against Sheffield, and we know that it's for that game, and everyone is confident to be in that team. And when you are on the bench, you know that it's useful for the team, and you have your opportunities later. Yeah.
West Brom then tomorrow night. Josh Maja coming back to the Stadium of Light. I suspect as a player you do know because you watched him in France when he was playing in Bordeaux. There's a sort of in this country we believe that often players come back to haunt their former clubs. I mean, Honeyman and Watmore, I think, probably started against you on Saturday because they used to play for Sunderland. It's a psychological thing, I think, with managers and players. Are you a believer in that sort of theory that players can come back and they do tend to do well against their former clubs?
I think he did well before during the season, so he probably play well again against us with an extra energy. I don't know. He's a good striker, really a good striker, very smart, good finisher. So will be a threat for sure against us. Yeah.
Good to be back home again as well. You do seem to be having this extraordinary run of away games with very few home games.
Yeah, we are very happy and we are looking forward to play at home because we are with the crowd, with the fans, and it's like our house. We really enjoy playing at home, and it will be a tough game again. But we are very excited to play against strong opponents, different style of play, smart team, very interesting. So good challenge again. Yeah.
Thank you.
Which is, I think I can probably guess this, but how was the dressing room on Saturday, the final whistle?
They were a little bit disappointed, but it lasted 5 or 6 minutes because they knew before that it was a tough place, really tough place, and we did well. So their main speeches were we were really in good place to win that game. So it's a shame because it was possible today, and because we deserved and we played well. So we have a balanced opinion at the end, and it's a new experience. But yesterday they were good. This morning they were very focused on the next game. So I'm confident. Okay, switch and next game now.
And you said it's 4 draws in a row. We haven't won, but undefeated in 9. I'm guessing you're an optimistic sort of guy who was up on the bright side.
Yes, a long sequence is good because it shows that we are consistent. It's difficult to beat us at the minute, and from that foundation now, it's obviously we have to win more games, and because of the scenario of seasons, it's still unpredictable. Sometimes you have suspensions, we have many injuries in specific areas of the pitch, so we have to manage that period properly. I think we are doing well from a process perspective. Now our willingness is to win, and we'll try to do our best to achieve that goal. Yeah.
You mentioned suspensions, obviously 3 of them over.
Yeah.
Now, how important is that? You have Joe Bellingham and Human Roberts again.
They are very important players for us. Yeah, everybody knows that they played well before, and they will be very important for us for the next games. But as I said before, it's a group, and we need everyone involved, and they will be fresh. So I hope they will help the team properly. Yeah.
All big games, obviously, but it looks like a big week coming for you, a big rest of the week.
Every games are very important. It's still 3 points at the end. So new experiences, I think great challenges for us because we are still a young team against strong opponent of one, probably 2 of the best opponents in the league at the minute. And we are in good place, so we have to play our football with our identity, and I hope we'll win 1 or 2 of these 2 games. Yeah, it's possible.
And despite not having won for a few games, still top of the league. How often do you look at the league table yourself?
Not too much, because the main focus for us is to improve our team, and you can have good or bad momentum, but if you are focused on your improvements, on your game model, your foundations, I think you can manage a long league like that in a proper way. So the main focus is not on the table. It's good to be high on the table because it means that you are competitive and you won many points and many games. So keep going and we'll see. Yeah.
Regis, you said on Thursday that support in difficult periods is important. Obviously, you've had difficult moments on Saturday, so I presume tomorrow you'll ask for the fans to just make themselves known, make themselves heard.
It's still, bad periods are still important to build the foundations, I think. And the way we are managing, it's not really a bad period. It's a period with less points, probably, and 4 draws in a row. But probably we could struggle more. It's possible we can lose many games, having a long sequence of defeats. It's still possible. And during these periods, I think it's the right time to refocus on what we are doing properly, what we have to improve for sure, but what we are doing properly, what are our qualities, what is our identity, what were our strong foundations so far. And this international break was very useful for that, and probably because we wanted to improve again, we wanted to add a new layer, and a new layer. Probably sometimes you just have to make a step back and say, okay, we could have less energy, we could have less players because of injuries and so on, but let's go back on our foundations, and bad players are very useful for that. And when you get an extra energy, new players in the team, you can build on this foundation and probably build a new momentum. So I hope so.
Would you like to see reinforcements come in January? You have had injuries across the season, you've got some now at the moment.
Yeah.
And so would you yourself, obviously it depends what it is in the club thing, but would you like people to come in January?
At the minute, as I said just before, we are still finding out new players in new position in our team. For example, Aaron is a 10, Eliza is a 11, so, and Sadis will be back, Ahmed will be back soon, Jan will be back soon, and probably we'll have 3 or 4 more players available during December. So I don't know if it should be needed, we'll see. Because I think my main focus, and the main focus of the staff, is to enjoy the squad we have, instead of rather than searching for new players away. Probably we have many strengths in our squad. Some of them were injured, so when they will be available, we'll have many players in many positions.
And just finally, obviously, to concede so late on Saturday, it is a frustration. How do you go about sort of coaching that and then thinking about it in terms of what does it come down to? Is it just a lack of concentration, or did you pinpoint things that went wrong in the lead up to it?
When we analyzed the clip back, it was clear that we could score, and then I'm not sure, but probably when in that situation, because you expected to score, probably we had 1 second, 2 seconds, and where we were a little bit disconnected, and we made probably 5 or 6 mistakes in a row. It's too much, really too much. And it's not silly mistakes, but just a question of disconnection, probably. And at the end, it's a shame because we can make 2-0, and then it's a 1-1. But it's possible, so it's a new experience. I hope we'll learn very quickly from that experience.